Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made my tech helmet out of cardboard. This is from the new show coming up called The Bad Batch. So it has a movable heads-up display and, in my opinion, the best helmet I ever made. So let's get right into how I made it. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is start working on the face. So I gave up. This is my third time making Tech's helmet, trying to. This is version 1, not the best. Version 2, also not the best. But this is actually from another YouTuber. You might know him. His name is Odin Makes. He's a very talented guy. So this is the only template I'm going to use. It's very good. So this is the only template I'm going to use just because I could not get my faceplate right. So what I'm going to do, cut out all these shapes, start gluing them together, so let's go. Okay guys, so this is what I did. It took a few minutes, but I got it. So when I put it on against my face, it was too tight. So what I did, I cut a piece that looks like this from the template. And then if you can see my lines there, I cut this section off and glued this piece right there so I have some extra room to fit in the helmet. So I'm going to do that on the other side, then go to a time lapse of getting some more work done, so let's go. Guys, so I cut out the pieces, now I'm gluing them on. Now what I'm going to be doing is attaching the main piece of cardboard for the dome, the support of the dome. So what I'm doing now, making sure everything lines up, adding some extra supports. Now I'm cut out a piece of cardboard that is going to be for the back area. Hey guys, so I added the back and it definitely looks weird. It kind of looks like a pear, but that's all going to change at the end. So what I'm going to do now is the cheek plates. So I came up with this pattern. So I'm going to glue it in and then get back to you guys. So let's go. Okay guys, so what I did, I filled in the cheeks and added the things. And then I added the things in. Then I added this T-shape to the back. And then I finished one of these buns, don't know what they are. It's basically what that is. Maybe made a little too small. Might fix that later, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I made it for the other one. So guys, never mind, I'm not going to work on that because the goggles have to go under and then I have to add the dome. So I'm going to completely remake those after I make the dome. So let's start on the dome. Okay guys, so I did not find the time lapse, but what I did, I took a strip of cardboard going from here to the end. So I'm going to show you that at real time because this is the finished product, as you can tell. Okay guys, so as you saw, I added this big piece of cardboard throughout the middle. Looks big now, but it won't look big when the goggles are attached or the heads-up display. The goggles will be coming up soon. So what I'm going to do next, so you saw how I did this. I'm going to do it from here to here, so I'm going to do that and then get back to you guys. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add more supports going from there to there. So I'm going to do that on each side, then get back to you guys. So let's go. Okay, guys, so I filled in all the different sides. So what I'm going to do next is fill in these little pieces. And to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take pieces of cardboard, put it inside of the helmet in this gap, but it'll be inside. I trace around it, so here, let me try and get it. So I'll put it in, I'll trace around it, trim it, make sure it fits, and then if it doesn't fit, do a little bit more trimming. So I'm going to do that. It takes a while, but at the end, it is worth it, so let's go. Okay guys, so I finished the dome. So what I'm going to do next is the goggles. So goggles, heads-up display, don't know what you call it. But I'm going to be working on that next in a time lapse, so let's go. Hey guys, so with the two pieces I cut out, I layered them together, cut off the extra. Now I'm taking this piece of cardboard that's a triangle shape. I'm going to cut out two of them, one for each side, and use thinner cardboard for the detail because there is a square cut out. So I'm cutting out that square. Then we're going to do it again for the other side. Then we're going to glue those two pieces together. And then we're going to glue the two sides onto the main piece of the visor. So let's go. Okay guys, so you just saw me make this heads-up display. So now what I'm gonna work on are the vents right there. So I'm gonna start working on that in a time lapse. So let's go. Okay guys, so I'm cutting out circles of cardboard. That is gonna be the main structure of the vent. So I have to do that twice, one for each. Now I'm taking a piece of cardboard to wrap it around. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. So now that they're done, I'm going to glue them on, but they're not as simple because they're kind of inset into the helmet. So I have to cut out a gap for them to fit inside. So it takes a while, but eventually I get it. Okay guys, so as you saw, I just made those vents. They did take a little bit of playing around with to get them in, but now they're all good. So what I'm going to work on next is making these all throughout the helmet to about the halfway mark. So what I did, I draw out some of these circle shapes with the water bottle cap, cut them out, cut them in half, and then I am going to line them along the helmet. So I'm going to do that and then get back to you guys, so let's go. Okay guys, so what I did, I got my ribs all in, and then I added some more supports here, but not on the other side. So I'm going to add the supports on the other side, get to a time lapse of me actually building up the ventilations. So let's get right to that. Now I'm taking a strip of cardboard to wrap it along the outside. I'm not doing everything in one because it takes a while. If you take your time, it will turn out good. So right now I'm wrapping it around the ribs to make it all smooth. Okay guys, so I worked on the cheeks. I did them all. The reason I cut it early because this took me around an hour of work. And that's a long time lapse. So, as you see, everything doesn't line up perfectly. But the reason for that is that it's a weird angle. So, I'm going to be using spackle later on to try and smooth everything out. But now, the next piece before that is the ears. So, instead of using the old ears I have right here, these are just a little too small. So, we're going to size these up a little, so let's go. Okay guys, so as you see, I've done the cheeks. They don't look the best now, but they will look good at the end, hopefully. But the reason I didn't do one big time lapse, this took me over an hour. But the next thing I have to do is the ears. So this is the old one I made. As you can see, it's a little too small, so I do have to size it up a little bit. So I'm going to do that, so let's go. Okay, guys, so what I'm doing, I'm cutting out the shape of the ear. Then I'm cutting out a bunch of different panels to go on the outside. So I'm gluing them together. It will take a lot of time. You want to make sure that they all line up. So I have to glue all 6 of them to each different side. And it might take a little bit of time. But at the end, it will look very good. So now we're going to start working on the other detail, which is another hexagon on top. Okay guys, so off camera, I made another one of these, and I attached one. And as you can see, I cut a portion out of it to let the goggles move up and down. So what I'm going to do after I attach this, I'm going to fill in these gaps with some more cardboard. So I'm going to do that and then get back to you guys, so let's go. Okay guys. So what I did, I added the other ear on here, and then, so there was a gap, so I filled that in with cardboard, but not on the other side, so I wanted to show you what I did. So now I have to do it on the other side. So I'm going to do that, then get back to you guys, so let's go. So I filled in the back, and I took off the goggles, because now it's going to be time for spackling. So I'm going to do a little out of time, and get back to you guys, so let's go. Okay guys, so this is what I got done with spackling. I did what I'm doing first is actually doing all the cracks. And then what I'm going to be doing is filling the entire thing in spackle to get an even layer of paint. Because if you have spackle, then cardboard, it's not going to be that even. So what I'm going to do next, finish the other ear, start working on the front mouth plate, so let's go. Okay guys, so I started spackling the tubes. This is what it looks like. Now, you see how it's a lot smoother. But I'm going to finish spackling the rest of it in the middle of the Clone Wars. A rerun because there's no new shows out. I'm currently waiting for the Bad Batch. And this is the project that going to start it all up, getting me very excited. So if you didn't know, I'm going to be making Tech's entire costume in future episodes. So make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss that. So I'm going to finish spackling, so let's go. Okay, guys, so right now the spackle is on. Doesn't look that good, but I promise at the end it should look a lot better. But what it's missing, except for the visor that is right here, I'm not going to spackle this just because I don't want to. So what I'm going to work on next is the goggles. So I'm going to do that and then get back to you guys. So let's Okay, guys, so the goggles were probably one of the hardest parts. So I'm just going to tell you what I did. So I took a piece of cardboard, rolled it into a tube. I ended up putting it inside the helmet, cutting it so my head will still fit inside, glued them in, then attached supports going. At the end, I just gave up and started playing around on my own to see what will work. So that's what I ended up doing. So that's what you're going to see in the next clip. Okay, guys, so what happened? The goggles did take a little bit to make. But what I basically did, I put tubes of cardboard inside, then attached them with these rods. So now I'm going to sand the spackle, then get back to you guys, so let's go. Okay, guys, so I sanded my helmet. Now I'm outside, and I'm going to give it a coat of white paint. And I have the goggles. Those are going to be painted gray. Then I have some painter's tape. I'm going to mark out what I want and paint the helmet gray. I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but I'm going to do what I said, then get back to you guys, so let's go. Okay, guys, so the gray is on. Now what I'm going to do everything else for the helmet in one time lapse. Not everything, but most. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up the gray, weather it to make it look more natural, and then get the red stripe in. So I'm going to do that and then get back to you guys. So let's go. Hey guys, so I'm using some white paint to weather down the gray. Then I'm going to be using some red paint to add the stripe down. You want to make sure to let some paint through, but if you don't, it's okay. You can always go back with some white and weather it down some more. So now let's go up and close. Okay guys, so as you saw, I painted the red stripe and weathered the rest of the helmet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the visor. So, do you see that display? I'm going to do that with a piece of paper for this. I'm not going to be able to see out of it. I just want it to look good. So, I'm going to use a piece of paper and draw on all those details. So, I'm going to do that off camera. Glue it on to show you what it looks like. So, okay, guys. So, designing something for the visor was a lot harder because the colored pencils really wouldn't stick. But it still looks really good. So now what I have to do are the designs on the ears. So I printed those out on Google. So what I'm going to do, go into a time lapse of cutting and gluing them on and finding a way to keep the visor up. So let's go. Okay guys, so right now I'm cutting out the pixelated skulls out of the paper. Then what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be hot gluing them to each little gray area of the ears. So right now, I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue, putting them on. Then I'm going to start working on the mechanism to hold the ear. What I ended up doing was a magnet that worked out well at the end. Okay, guys, so I attached the magnet, so now it would stay up on its own. And as you saw, I attached the digital logos. I'm super proud of how this came out. It might be my best prop I ever made. Out of everything off camera and on camera, I'm super proud of this, and as General Grievous would say, it's another fine addition to my collection. So now, please subscribe so you won't miss any other episodes where I'm going to start making his armor. So thank you for watching, like the video, and see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.